What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 5. Now, I don't know what happened to Episode 4. Y'all know I was out of town last weekend. When I came home, it was not in my DVR. I have no idea where it went. And honestly, I ain't had the energy to go look for it. Y'all wasn't talking a whole lot about, so the episode must not have been a whole lot of whatever was going on. I know that Tisha and Marcel presented this Black Expo situation that everybody seemed to be confused about. But okay, let's get into this episode. We started off with Stormy and Courtney dealing with issues at their business down to the warehouse. Now, basically, the people at the warehouse are not working efficiently, okay? They are backed up on orders. There's a lot of disorganization. Now, they just moved into this new warehouse, and Stormy and Courtney had a meeting with the people to say, listen, what we don't want is to bring old habits into our new space, okay? So let's talk about it. What didn't work? Y'all can be honest. What do we need to do better in order to make this place, be more efficient? And so, the people made a few suggestions. We need to make sure we don't run out of labels. We need more hands. And Stormy brought up a good point. Stormy said, listen, I have no problem bringing on more people, but I need to make sure that the people that are here are working as efficiently as possible. She said, I see way too many people on their cell phones. I see way too many people walking around like they don't have nothing to do. I see way too many people, two people doing a one-person job. And so she said, listen, I need to make sure that we are doing what we need to do before I bring more people in. The other issue is a lot of these people are family. And her thing is, when I bring new people in, they're not going to be family. These are going to be outside people. So if I got my family in here acting a fool and these outside people come in, then they're going to be like, oh, that's how we rolling down to the Canvas Beauty? Now, what we saw later on in the episode was that Stormy actually ended up having to fire her cousin, who really had been with her from the beginning. Now, it seemed like it really wasn't any hard feelings. He was like, do what you got to do. But when she was trying to talk to him about her issues, her concerns, her problems, he really wasn't here for it. Like, he was making excuses, and he was talking about, basically like coming up with a whole bunch, in my opinion, a whole bunch of excuses as to why he wasn't being effective. But Stormy made the hard decision. It's family, and that's the risk that you run when you hire family, is that you're gonna have to fire family. And she said, part of the vision I had for Canvas Beauty was that it would be a place where pretty much my whole family could win. This would be a place where my whole family could come and they could win. And that's not what it has turned out to be. And that's very disappointing, So we saw that struggle this episode. Then we saw Melody meeting with her team, and Melody has a lot of things on the horizon, honey. She's got, fashion stuff and acting opportunities and, of course, 7th Avenue Beauty. And listen, I'm here for all of that. I'm happy for Mel. One thing that I've always said about Melody Holt is that Melody keep a hustle. And I'm not mad at her about it. Melody has done a great job of creating a brand for herself, surrounding herself with people who clearly are creating opportunities for her. She's doing a good job of capitalizing on those opportunities. And I'm here for it. I'm really, really here for it. So congratulations. And then, we saw her talking to her manager and basically saying how, she's still juggling the co-parenting and who to have in her space and who not to have in her space that's going to be more productive and not take away from, the negativity, or feed on the negativity, I should say. Now, while this is going on, down to the Black, they are having a slutty vegan truck in the parking lot. And we saw them meet with Joy, who is the sales director for Slutty Vegan. And it looked like, listen, I think if they're able to bring Slutty Vegan to Huntsville, and Marcel said, shoot, I would love to build it, and Tisha said, hell, I would love to help them find a commercial space for it, it would definitely be a win-win-win for everybody involved. There's all Black businesses, Black-owned businesses, and they could all, that's what you get into this for. She said we definitely do these tours to find markets, to tap into markets, to see where it's popular. And, from the looks of the parking lot, it looks like this is a, a popular spot. Maybe that's something we can in the future do some business. So I thought that was a great conversation. Um, then Kimmy and Maurice came through, and they had, they were all eating the slutty vegan. It was all they were all eating the food, and Marcel was talking about how him and Martell were helping him get in shape. We found out about that a little bit later on. And then they talk about this Black Expo. Now, like I said, I did not see last week's episode, so I missed the whole presentation. But from where Kimmy is sitting, it sounds like she still is not clear on what it is and what her role in it is. Like, do you want us to be a part of it? Are we just going to be speakers? Are you paying people to be there? And Marcel was like, yeah, I'm not paying nobody. That wasn't part of the presentation. So I don't know where you're getting this from, but I didn't say I was paying nobody for nothing. So then they were talking about, you're asking people, of a certain caliber for their time, they're going to be expecting compensation. And of course, Tisha, well, we're all of a certain caliber. I mean, we're all of a certain caliber. Yeah, and it did come off a little weird when Kimmy said it, as if to say, like, they were of a higher level. I don't think that's how she meant it, but that is how it came out, Kimmy. Now, it did come out like that. But, again, I can't really speak to this presentation because I wasn't there. But, Kimmy still doesn't seem to be really clear on what the expectation is and what it's going to look like. The one thing that they were clear on is that it is not a comeback group 2.0. And Marcel was saying that that the meeting really went better than he thought, because he really thought it was going to end up being like a comeback group conversation. And even Mel said it earlier that she's considering, joining forces with with Tisha and them to do the Black Expo. So, I mean, it sounds like it's a positive thing. It just sounds like maybe it wasn't executed as clearly, so that the people could understand. Well, at least Kimmy, because Mel seemed to understand. Maybe it was just Kimmy. And then of course Maurice and Tisha in their confessional talking about they don't understand why Kimmy was confused, and maybe she been hanging around Mel too long. And I was like, see, that's the kind of shit that's gonna cause problems. Y'all made a truce, y'all getting along, and that's the kind of stuff that's gonna cause a problem. Okay. Anyway. Then we see Martell and Marceau. Now, Marceau and Martell are entering into a quid pro quo type relationship where Martell is going to help Marceau lose some weight, get in shape, and Marceau is going to help Martell pass this builder's exam. Now, Marceau, I don't know why you would take that deal, because this young man has been trying to pass this daggone builder's license exam for a long time. He said he's taken it a couple of times and he just can't seem to pass it. Now, listen, in all fairness, some people just are not good test takers. I have friends in the teaching world. You have to pass what's called the praxis exam. I have friends who cannot pass that damn test. I mean, they have taken it a ridiculous amount of times, and they study, they teach every day, and they cannot pass that exam. So being able to pass a test and not pass a test is not always an indication of whether you will be good in that job. I'm just being honest. But I think at this point it's a block. I think at this point Martell has a block against passing this test. And I just don't know. I don't know if he need to just walk away for a minute and then let his mind regroup and come back, or what. But Marceau gonna help him pass it. Now, he said you got to change your whole mindset. You have to look at things from a totally different mindset, and totally immerse yourself. Like, you're gonna have to do it. But I feel like that's what everybody keeps telling him, and he just cannot seem to pass this daggone test. Like I said, sometimes you just create a block against stuff, and then you just can't. You can't do it. You can't get there. Then, of course, they were talking about the Black Expo. And once again, Martell talking about, yeah, I'm surprised. I was surprised to see Tisha and Mel getting along. I mean, I thought they hated each other. I thought they were enemies. And Marceau was like, well, yeah, I think they just decided to stop fighting. Like, they're just tired of fighting. And I don't think that they're best friends. But they've decided to just, work together and find a common space, Then they find out, then Marceau tells Martell about the birthday party that Melody is having for the two girls, Malia and Mariah, I believe. And here go Martell. Yeah, I mean that's surprising. Last year she kept the kids from me, and I didn't get to talk to them on their birthday, and I didn't get to see them on their birthday, and now she not inviting me to the party this year, and and she's inviting people that she said she wasn't even friends with. I mean, why would she do that? And Marcel was like, y'all still going through this? Like, and the one thing I liked about what Marcel said was he said, listen, I cannot sit here and say what would or would not happen if this were me and Tisha. It would be, at this point, it would be strictly, speculation. And you might want to talk to Maurice because Maurice has been through this, but it's just crazy to me that y'all are still in this space. And of course, what does Martell do? He makes it all Melody's fault. It's all Mel. And he don't understand why she won't do this. And he don't understand why she won't do that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get through this because I got something for you, Martell, in about 2 minutes, okay? Now, I don't even think it's going to take me that long. But anyway, we get to the birthday party, and it's nice. Meldon got it. It's at the skating rink, and it looks really nice. That's the other thing Martell said, too, that his daughter is emailing him, asking him to come to the party, saying she wants him at the party. So we get to the skating rink, and Mel is there, getting everything set up, getting the party ready. And who shows up? Martell. Melody very nicely asks Martell to come outside so she could talk to him. And she tells him, why are you here? You're not invited. I don't want you here. And Melody even tells him, he says, well, it's my daughter's birthday and I want to spend her birthday with her. Mel said, I tell you what, you can get her later on today, but you can't come up in here. Why? No, I want to spend her birthday with her now. I want to talk to her. I want to be here now. And Mel's like, listen, I already told you, you can have her later on today. It'll still be her birthday, and you can do whatever you want to do for her. And of course, Martell had to bring up how he didn't have her last year, even though it was his year to have her, and this, that, and the other. And Mel said, listen, I done already told you what I'm willing to compromise on. I really would hate to call the police and have you escorted out of here, but Martell, I need you to go. So Mel's mother came over there, and another woman who I do not recognize him, so I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. Martell actually starts yelling and tell her she don't have nothing to do with this. Now, at first I thought he was yelling at Mel's mom, but then I realized, okay, I don't think he's yelling at Mel's mom so much as I think he's yelling at the other woman that came over there. But neither here nor there. You are sitting there in a woman's face yelling at her, and you are refusing to leave a situation where you are not invited. Sir, you are technically trespassing at this point. Listen, let me say this. Martell, you really have to get over the fact that you and Melody are not together. You and Melody are divorced, and you are co-parenting. And you do not get the right, just because it is your daughter's birthday, it does not automatically mean that you will get to spend your daughter's birthday, your children's birthday with them every year. You got to go, you have to go by the custody agreement. And he said, well, Mel's okay with, celebrating Thanksgiving or Christmas a week later, but I'm not okay with that. The world don't revolve around you, Martell. You don't have to be okay with it. That is your new reality, sir. That is your new normal. Your new normal is that you no longer have the luxury of celebrating holidays on the holiday. You now have to celebrate around your custody agreement. You know why? Because that is your reality. You don't have to like it, Martell, but what you don't get to do, you don't get to demand that it's going to be a different way. You don't get to do that. There are going to be times when Mel doesn't get to spend the time with the kids and when she wants to, and guess what she has to do? She has to live with it. But I don't hear Mel complaining. And the reality is, if you would be more of a human being about the situation, maybe, just maybe, y'all could compromise sometime and trade off. But Mel can't do that with you because she gives you an inch and you take a mile. And mind you, while all of this was going on, I believe they were in the midst of this whole custody agreement. So what incentive does Mel have to be nice to you, to bend to you, to compromise with you when you are literally taking her to court and trying to get full custody of the kids? I wouldn't give you shit. And just because it is your daughter's birthday does not, and she's having a party for your daughter, doesn't mean you get to come. And when your daughter was emailing you, if I believe that your daughter was emailing you, then what you should have done as the responsible adult in the conversation is explain to her, remember when mommy daddy told you that with the divorce, things were going to be different? Unfortunately, this is one of those things. Unfortunately, this is one of those examples where things are going to be a little different. And daddy can't be there, but I tell you what, next weekend is daddy's weekend, and we're going to have a whole nother party. I'll never forget my little cousin. I think for her sweet 16, for her 16th birthday, you know all she wanted for her 16th birthday was to have one party. She said, listen, all I want is one party because my whole life, her parents have been divorced since she was like 5 or 6 years old. She said, my whole life, I've always had to have 2 damn parties. For my birthday, I have always had to have 2 parties. You know what I want for my 16th birthday? I just want one party. I want my parents to be mature enough to have to be able to be in a room together where I don't have to do this shit twice. And she was old enough to articulate it. She was old enough to say that's what she wanted. And her parents at that point were old enough to do it. But for her to have to say, listen, I've been doing this my whole life, and all I want from y'all is one party. But unfortunately, that is the side effect to divorce. And it's also the side effect when you have 2 people who once loved each other, but for whatever reason now can't be in the same room together. For a lot of reasons. I shouldn't say whatever reason, but for a lot of reasons. And unfortunately, Martell, that is where it is. And a lot of that falls on your feet. So I was so irritated. Listen, Mel, and when we came back after commercial, we moved on to something else. So I feel like they gave us enough for us to know what happened and for us to see Martell being a jerk. But however it was resolved, they did that off camera, right? Last but not least, we see Melody, Tisha, and Kiki sitting down eating at the party. And basically, they were talking about how the spa party ended, which, I missed because I missed last episode. But it sounds like Kiki and Tisha were able to come to some sort of meeting of the minds. But Kiki said, but I still got something for Miss Tiffany. I still didn't appreciate where Tiffany came from and how she came for me. And I will address her when I'm ready to talk to her. We find out that Mel is having a tea in order to teach people how to effectively communicate. And child, that's what we're going to pick up next week. So anyway, that was pretty much the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.